But at the same time, not everyone makes it. So why is that? Why is it that not everyone makes it? If individualism is true, according to some people, then you can make it if you work very hard. But the evidence is some people simply aren't making it. So why is that? Because if you can't explain why some people don't make it, then individualism is a lie, right? You have to be able to explain why some people don't make it. Why is it that some people like Vanderbilt or Carnegie got wealthier than anyone else? And the answer they come up with is something called social Darwinism. Charles Darwin was a guy who came up with the theory of evolution. He says that people will adapt over time. And you can see a quote here from him that I'm highlighting right now. The struggle for survival, the fittest went out at the expense of their rivals because they succeed in adapting themselves best to their environment. It's the theory of natural selection. This idea that the strong who are able to adapt best will survive and everyone else will not survive. So while some people become incredibly wealthy through things like laissez-faire capitalism, where government gets out of the way to let the individual work hard, to let the individual push for success, while some can accrue gigantic piles of money, gigantic piles of wealth because they are the lion, they are strong, they have adapted, others, like the mouse, they fail to do so. Like all the people in your family, according to social Darwinism, who have failed to become wealthy or successful, they failed because they are not strong, because they are not capable of evolving. That's right. The people in your life that have not become successful, like everyone else, they're the feeble-minded. They're the reason why our society, according to social Darwinism, has juveniles in trouble, has domestic violence shelters, criminals, people that have to get arrested or live in shelters who require charity or extra emergency health care because they are the feeble-minded. These people, the ones who are incapable of success, they are the root of all of our troubles according to social Darwinism. Remember, if individualism is true, then if you would simply work hard, if you would simply evolve, if you would simply become better, then you could be successful. This is the reason why some aren't, according to social Darwinism, because you're simply not strong. You simply can't survive. Think about it. If you become ridiculously wealthy like Vanderbilt and Carnegie by crushing and smushing all of those other people, think about that slide, that previous picture on the previous slide where you see the poor worker getting squished by between low wages and high rent. If you can take advantage of people, well, you do that because you can, because of its laissez-faire. There's a reason why Pullman gets away with it, because it's the strong dominating the weak. Now, don't get me wrong, right? This idea of social Darwinism, it's not all about just eating up your rival. It's also about, well, now that we've become incredibly wealthy, we should, help those poor, indigent, helpless people that can't make it in individualism. Help the weak with the gospel of wealth. That we, as Americans, once we become wealthy, we should be philanthropists. We should help the poor help themselves. And that's the thing I want you to understand, right? Philanthropists like Carnegie, who creates Carnegie Library, Carnegie Hall in New York City, Carnegie Mellon University, and other philanthropists like him, they use their wealth to build schools and libraries and hospitals, but all of these things help someone help themselves. A school helps you learn. It helps you learn so you can become smarter and stronger and better. A library helps you do the same. It gives you access to information that you have to choose to use. A hospital can keep you healthy. It can give you an avenue to make sure that you're well so that you can continue to work and be successful. All of these things are better than charity. But you and I know that this isn't necessarily reality. You and I know that sometimes there are things that just keep you from being successful no matter how hard you work. The story of individualism is nice. Social Darwinism is a great excuse for it, right? You have all these immigrants coming to America, and some of them, a very few of them, make it and become Vanderbilts and J.P. Morgans and Carnegies, but so many don't. And social Darwinism explains that, but it's not necessarily the reality of the situation, because there are so many that do work that simply don't make it. Well, why is that?